touchdown minutes ago. Now we're going to a live shot where it appears we're standing by here to watch as they open the capsule. I'm joined by Mark Garneau, the first Canadian in space. Mark, what are we watching here?
Well, we actually see a hatch that is open, and I guess we're waiting to see for the, who will come out through the hatch. You can see it there, and they're just preparing to get the crew out of there. They're obviously strapped in and what have you, so it may take a little while. And if they need some assistance, well, we'll see whether that is the case. Everybody's a bit different, so.
Yeah, it's funny, after such this incredible high-tech orbiting of the Earth, they come down looking in this thing, and this looks like a bag of bolts, but there's something sort of informal about that little Soyuz capsule.
It does look rather informal, and it prompted way back people to stop. Oh, there is somebody who's already out, Roman Romanenko. So Roman, of course, was the Russian cosmonaut who was the commander. He's looking in great shape, to be honest with you.
No kidding. I'm surprised as I look at him there. It just looks like the guy's come back from an air trip rather than this incredible 146 day voyage.
Absolutely. He's got a good complexion. He's got a great smile on his face. Usually you can tell when people are feeling motion sickness, they look sort of pale and they're not smiling. But he looks like he's in great shape. And they've got the two other seats on each side, and they're waiting to greet Chris and Tom.
Now, down there on the ground, this would be, I guess, the Russian Space Agency? I mean, who's down there, around there?
Absolutely. The Russian Space Agency runs this program, and they have search and recovery forces who are the ones that sort of came in to be ready to help them get out and to do everything that you see them doing there. So
yeah, and just to highlight there, as we looked at the Russian Roman Romanenko looking like in great shape, I just want to remind our viewers, they spent 144 days on the International Space Station, 146 days in space all told, 2,336 orbits around the planet. And that's about almost 62 million miles that they've logged. I don't think they get air miles for that. Too bad. They'd be flying for free for the rest of their lives. But, I mean, the toll that must take on their bodies, and to see him down there, I mean, what does all that travel do to your body? Well, we were talking about the reorbiting, but even that kind of travel and weightlessness for that long.
That's why it's crucial that every day they do about 2 hours of exercise, because otherwise their muscles will shrink to nothing and they will have problems with their bones. Their bones become very brittle. So that's why it's critical 7 days a week to do 2 hours of exercise. And even so, you do lose some muscle mass, and your bones do become more brittle. And of course, they have the additional challenge right now of dealing with what's called their vestibular system, their sense of balance in their inner ear. That's playing havoc with them.
Yeah, you can see a very slow withdrawal here. It could be Chris Hadfield, we're not sure, or it could be the American astronaut who's in there as well. Let's listen in to what's going on there.
Get you out. Okay, pull. Pull a little bit. Let me pull. Okay, did you get caught? Careful. Okay, I'll hold you up. Hold on. Hold on.
Team now pulling out our second crew member.
A little bit more. Okay, lift him up by his hands. Hold his hand. Hold his arm. Okay. Right leg. Slowly. Okay, pull him. Okay. Okay, turn him over. There we go.
Second crew member out of the Soyuz craft, NASA astronaut Tom Marshburn. Still remaining on board, Canadian astronaut Chris Hadfield.
I stay with this.
The astronauts will be carried over to these seats where they can relax for a moment as they're all extracted before eventually being moved over to the
okay, we're just watching the return to Earth of the three astronauts who just come back. That's the American Tom Marshburn, joined by Mark Garneau, Canada's first man in space. Mark, he's looking a little wobblier than his Russian counterpart.
I would say so, and Tom will be very familiar with it because he's a flight surgeon. with the NASA astronaut corps, so I'm sure he's very familiar with his symptoms, and he does look like he's having some of the effects of motion sickness that we associate with this.
And forgive me, I don't want to poke fun at this, but there's just something so retro about these guys being pulled out of this tin can that just doesn't look like the glamour of space travel.
I agree with you. After the majesty of seeing them float in space, we now see them being extracted exactly in a very ungainly fashion out of this capsule.
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of dignity on their return to Earth there. But maybe that's why the Russian's smiling so much, because he got out okay. Okay, and we're just standing by right now with two of the astronauts out. We're just waiting for our Canada's Chris Hadfield to make his return. Mark, tell me about something, too. Your first breath of air. What is that like after being in that artificial environment?
Well, you actually are breathing air until just before the burn, and then you go on pure oxygen. So you've been on pure oxygen for quite a bit of time, and but symbolically, I think feeling that you are now breathing Earth air is probably a bit of a special feeling. You are now really back on planet Earth.
Okay, and we're taking a look in there as we're after Chris Hadfield, who's jammed in there somewhere, and
fairly cramped quarters inside of these Soyuz
fairly cramped quarters indeed.
In those Sokol launch and entry suits, not able to quite move around as freely as would be nice. So these recovery forces responsible for getting them out safely.
Okay, I'm getting out.
There he is.
There's no place for the two of us. Okay, pull from the other side. And I could see that it was in a different format. Unintelligible.
Here you can see NASA astronaut Tom Marshburn. He's speaking with Deputy ISS Program Manager Kirk Shireman, who's down on the ground as one of the NASA support personnel for this landing. Also there with Marshburn, Eric Bowe, the Deputy Chief of the Astronaut Office.
It's amazing, and the cool air is good too. Okay, good. Feels good down here. Beautiful day. Yeah, you guys look good. Seats all out. All right, so they're going to tell you what the situation now. Like I say, we were kept triple checking our send one to Jessica's guy. He should have been. It didn't fall down. He wanted
Just a second.
fall down between the seat and the walls. So that spacecraft, man, it was perfect. Yeah. Man, we should have stopped.
It's our senior gear.
I feel
We're standing by to see Chris Hadfield in his return Earth here. He's the third and last astronaut to be pulled out of that space capsule. We're just waiting for that to happen. Cramped quarters, and as we're mentioning too, the physical toll that's taken on the body, not only from the 146 days in space, but also a pretty bumpy return aboard that snug Soyuz capsule. So it's taken a team of people, in fact, to try to extricate him from that capsule. Just been handed here a note from the Prime Minister, Stephen Harper, who says, "I'm pleased to see Commander Hadfield is back on planet Earth. A reminder that our potential is limitless when we aim high."
You can see the soft
Last time, there was almost nobody, and the land was covered in
Now,
ice.
if we want to get back to the sort of unglorious feeling we were just saying about watching that little Soyuz capsule, the Canadian Space Agency says traveling in the capsule is like, quote, traveling in a phone booth. A very expensive phone booth.
Just waiting for
Talk about long-distance phone calls, though.
So one of our helicopters didn't take off.
Next up for the crew will be a quick jaunt over to the medical tent set up about 100 yards away from this landing site, following which they'll take a helicopter flight back to the Karaganda airport. From there, they'll again go their separate ways, with Roman Romanenko boarding a Gagarin Cosmonaut Training Center aircraft to head back to the Chkalovsky Airport in Star City, Russia, his home base of operations. While he's doing that, NASA astronaut Chris Hadfield and NASA astronaut Tom Marshburn, and Canadian astronaut Chris Hadfield will board a NASA plane bound for Houston, where they'll get a chance to be reunited with family and friends.
Nikolai Dmitrievich. Blood pressure 74.
Well, we're watching and waiting for Canadian astronaut Chris Hadfield to get out of that Soyuz capsule. Taking a little longer than it took the other two astronauts to get out. Not exactly sure what's happening on the ground. And the camera, which before you could actually see Hadfield, is now being trained on the Russian cosmonaut Roman Romanenko there, who seems to be enjoying a cup of something. I'm joined by Mark Garneau. Mark, what do you remember was the first thing that you ingested when you were back to Earth?
Well, I'll be very honest with you, it was a beer. And
What a good Canadian boy.
in fact, people say, what was the first thing you really wanted to do? And it was to have a shower. And I'm sure they will really find that a very pleasurable experience after 5 months. I actually had my beer in the shower.
The best of both worlds, the best of both things. Well, it could also be a bit of a heartbreaker for Chris Hadfield. He is, of course, from Ontario, grew up in Ontario, huge Toronto Maple Leafs fan. So I don't know, somebody's going to have to break the news to him about...
I don't think we should tell him tonight.
No, you probably let him enjoy his return before we burst his hockey bubble about the heartbreaking loss to the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight, with which will resonate with Chris Hadfield back here on Earth. Well, we're coming down, getting close to the end of our hour as we watch and wait for Chris Hadfield to make that return. Just watching this too, I'm curious to know, do you know what's happening there? They've been wiping away at Tom Marshburn, the American astronaut's hands here.
I do not know what's behind that, but I have noticed it, as you point out there. They keep, perhaps he might have cut himself, I don't know, or perhaps he had some tape on his hand and they're taking off the adhesive, I don't know. It doesn't seem to be serious.
No, both astronauts seem to be, well, you can certainly see the Russian. He's all smiles there. And he, of course, playing to a home crowd here as they land in Kazakhstan, and have a lot of officials from the Russian Space Agency who have surrounded them there. And we've talked a lot about what this means for Canada, but obviously this is going to be a huge day for Russia as well.
Absolutely. And then Roman Romanenko has done this before. He's come down in the capsule. So he's already, once you've done it once, you sort of know what's ahead of you, and it actually makes it easier. So you can tell he's very comfortable.
Okay. Maybe that is that experience, and that's the difference with Tom Marshburn and perhaps even Chris Hadfield, who are coming down in this capsule for the first time. And we are waiting to see what's happening with Chris Hadfield. We've been following, and he has been one of the most visible astronauts ever, probably the most visible astronaut ever in terms of his experience in space, with the videos. Everything from opening a can of nuts to wringing out a wet rag has attracted millions of views. He's had more than 800,000 followers on Twitter, and he's really elevated his own status, and I think the status of Canadian Canadian astronauts as well, and given us this sort of global position now.
Unquestionably, what he has done has been meteoric, if I can put it that way. Suddenly, from going from perhaps 10 or 15,000 followers to 800,000 during the course of this 5-month trip, and all over the world as well.
Yeah, that's true. He's been attracting attention. I was reading something in the UK media today about this guy they said we'd never heard of, and now he's the guy who has made space travel cool. I guess it was his accessibility and doing very everyday things up in space. Of course, they were doing all kinds of scientific experiments up there, but it was that kind of accessibility. Well, we've been standing by here just waiting for Chris Hadfield to come out. And I just want to say to our viewers who are watching us now in Ontario, in Quebec, that we will be wrapping up at the top of the hour. We haven't seen Chris Hadfield, but if you want to keep watching, we will be following the story on CBC, on the CBC News Network, where we will continue to follow. There he is, right on time in the last few seconds. Chris Hadfield, there he is, alive and well.
Space Agency astronaut Chris Hadfield being lowered into his seat now after being extracted from the Soyuz craft. All 3 crew members now safely out.
Okay, do we have everything here?
And we'll say goodbye now to our viewers watching us in Ontario and Quebec.
Well,
Tonight on CBC News Ottawa at 11.
You never think of anything like this being an outcome.
A 17-year-old Ottawa high school student dies after suffering a traumatic rugby injury. What her parents are hoping can be learned from her death.
If they get damaged by frost, we will not have a crop of apples.
A risk of frost has local farmers spending thousands on a creative way to warm things up to save their crops.
And I'm Ian Black. Frost warnings tonight, but a warm-up down the road. I'll tell you when.
Good evening. I'm David Giroux. We begin with the tragic death of a 17-year-old Barrhaven girl. Rowan Stringer died this weekend from a brain injury that she sustained while she was playing rugby at John McCrae Secondary School last week. Well, today her parents spoke out about her death. Simon Gardner has that story.
Rowan Stringer was, by all accounts, a vibrant, sociable teenager who, above all, loved sports. She was captain of the school rugby team. Kathleen and Gordon Stringer are her parents.
We know what teenagers are like, and she just wanted to play the sport she loved and support her team.
I get concerned about, she always came home with her bruises and everything, as she called them, her badges of honor.
Her parents say she received a hit to the head earlier this month, then another a few days later.
But she took some Advil, and then she had to take it again later in the day, but the next day it was completely gone. But realistically, we know that if you hit your head and have a headache, that means something's happened, and probably we should have been more concerned about that.
The grade 12 student received her third and most serious injury during a rugby game last Wednesday. Tom Schultz is the principal of John McCrae Secondary School in Barrhaven.
As she went to the ground on the tackle, she hit the back of her head against the ground. And it was unfortunate the way she went down. It was like many other tackles in rugby. It was just the way that she struck the ground that causes unfortunate injury to her.
He says Rowan was briefly conscious on the field but soon faded. She was rushed to Chio by ambulance and never regained consciousness.
And we all mourn for Rowan here, and her team and her classmates are grieving now and really need to be able to go through that process.
Meanwhile, Rowan's parents are looking for ways to prevent this kind of tragedy from happening to another family. They suspect teenagers are prone to downplaying injuries and want to encourage them to take all hits seriously.
It was an accident, it happened, but if there's something that can be learned out of it and
Jennifer Adams is Director of Education for the Public Board of Education.
Our coaches are involved in safety courses that teach them to be asking those types of questions, and we certainly focus on that aspect of safety in our schools.
However, she could not say if Rowan Stringer was actually asked if she had any previous injuries before heading out onto the field to play what would be her final game. Simon Gardner, CBC News, Ottawa.
The possibility of freezing temperatures tonight has some farmers chilled to